Hello, hello. Welcome back to TribeMomma Talks, where I talk and you listen, because sometimes you just need something and someone to fill the silence. Happy holidays. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys are enjoying your time with family or with yourself or with friends, with your children, with your pets. I just hope this one is going nicely for you. We all deserve a reprieve after the year we've been having. So today I've decided, since we're right between Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year's, and whatever other holidays are out there that you celebrate, I respect them all. I'm going to do some Christmas drama stories on Reddit. Maybe you'll relate, or maybe you'll just feel better about the situation you are currently in because you don't have to share these problems. So get yourself something to drink, get cozy, or start settling into some chores. Whatever it takes, let's get started. Okay, this was posted by I Bleed Duke Blue 89. This is from a couple years ago, so we're not here really for the advice. We're just here to take a lesson. Am I the a-hole? Family Christmas drama. Before I was married, 34 male, I would always travel back to the West Coast to stay with my family during the holiday. Last year, I got married, and my wife and I decided to alternate winter holidays between her family, who live very near to us, and my family, who live on the opposite side of the country. Unfortunately, Southwest made us miss our time with our family last year, and they were unable to make up the trip this year. We won't be able to travel for Christmas this year because of the work schedule. Okay, so if I'm getting this right, last year you guys couldn't get there. It was their turn last year, I guess, and you couldn't get there because the plane. All right, that makes sense. And they couldn't come to you. All right. Um, and now this year you can't make up for it because work. As a solution, my wife and I proposed we host both families at our new house this year. We have the space to host my family, and my wife's family is only 30 minutes away. Since it was my wife's family year, we talked to them about it first, doing the joint Christmas at our house this year. They were elated at the idea, especially considering we've spent the last two Christmases with them, one planned and last year unplanned because of Southwest. So yeah, they were probably like, "Sweet, we'll come to your place. That makes sense." I spoke with my sister and father about the solution and both were on board, but knew it would be difficult to get my mother on board. All three of us talked to her separately about the idea, and she has refused to leave her home to come to my house. She says that it isn't her year to celebrate with us, despite our attempts at saying everyone, including my in-laws, love the idea. My dad had said he's sorry, but he won't come now because he doesn't want my mom to be alone on Christmas. I genuinely believe he actually wants to come. My sister has decided she will be coming to our house for the holiday now. My mother is pissed. My mother is now accusing me of not loving and respecting her wishes that everyone come to her house for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I truly feel for my dad in this situation because he's clearly stuck in the middle. Am I the a-hole? Note: my wife's schedule is incredibly difficult and she gets every other year off for the holiday. Last year was her off year and this year she has to work. I told my mother both of us have to work surrounding the holiday in an effort to protect my wife. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. And, first of all, kudos for being a team player there. Okay, so where do we even begin? I mean, this is one of the complicated things about moving away. If you have like a tight-knit family with firm, entrenched traditions, if you move away from your family, this is something you have to consider how you will continue to incorporate those traditions now that your life has taken a different turn or a different spin. If you're the one who moves away from your family, you're going to have to consider, do I go home? Do I spend the money for that because I want to see my family? On and on. And this is also why I don't believe in entrenched traditions, because it doesn't leave room for change and evolution in the family. Families evolve, they grow through time. And what Christmas looked like back in 87, it doesn't look like that in 98 or 2025. It changes. And I think people lose sight of what it's supposed to be about. And it's about being together with the people you love and celebrating, making it through another year together. And you get too caught up in, well, we'd like to do it this way, and I make this special dish. And if you get so caught up in that, you will miss the time that you're supposed to be spending with the people you're supposed to love. I understand mom feeling really bummed because she missed out on hosting family Christmas in her house where everyone comes to her because of the plane and now work. But I mean, if that was my kid and I could afford it, I'm flying out to see my kid. I'm doing it. Like, okay, things didn't work out for us, but this year I'm gonna be with my baby. It's that simple. And if the whole family's on board with it, I have even more reason to go. But that's just me. I don't know. Again, I don't get hung up on traditions because I grew up where every holiday could look a little different. What mattered were the people, and it didn't really matter how we were together as long as we were, again, if we could afford to do so. But let's see what the comments have to say on this one. Not the a-hole. Everyone else is fine with a solution that allows everyone to be together. The reality is that a lot of people don't have the financial or PTO ability to visit family for the holidays. Don't let your mom make you feel bad for doing what is best for you and your wife. If she wants to throw a tantrum and not see you for Christmas, that's her choice. Not the a-hole. Your mom is sulking because she misses you. Call her and have a conversation with her. That would be my first thought. OP says, I speak with her frequently, once a week. My wife and I vacationed with her and the rest of my family 3 times this past year, including one trip to her house in May. Okay, so you are going to see her. She just wants this at her house. Did she understand why you explained why you're not coming? Opie said, we never told her we were coming this year. We told her we both have to work this year and can't do the travel arrangements. So he's explained to her the situation, and she's digging her heels in because she really wants Christmas at her house this year. Um, this kind of sounds like a case of keeping tabs. She hasn't been able to host Christmas at her house with you two coming because, stuff got in the way. Like last year, your plane, it didn't work out, and she feels cheated, and she's too busy focusing on that rather than just being with you. Um, I mean, that's what it seems like. I don't know her, so you're not the a-hole. Your mother is a just no mother-in-law. Big hugs. Info. Okay, I think this person's asking for info. Is your mom saying not her year because she thinks she's infringing on your in-laws or because of some kind of weird passive aggression? Do you guys go to their home for Thanksgiving or have you just not seen them for 2 years? OP. Great questions. I believe not her year can be taken as both not infringing on in laws and passive aggression. Despite telling her the in laws are okay with it, she thinks they have to say that and is sticking by it. We did not go home for Thanksgiving, but did go to their house for a longer weekend in May, 4 days, met them for a vacation on the East Coast for 3 days, and vacationed with them in Italy for 5 days. Okay, so you guys are clearly putting in the time, the energy, and the money to be with them. It's just not working out on this time schedule right now. And this is what I say, people get hung up on their traditions, and if they don't go well, they stick their heels in. And it sounds like mom is just sticking her heels in that she wanted to have Christmas at her house, and it's not really about everyone being together. It's about her getting her way. Not the a-hole. Has your mom ever been to your home, or if not, has she given a reason? Opie says, no, no reason, but we've only lived in it for 1 year so far. And lastly, we've got not the a-hole. Time to tell mommy her kids are adults and get to choose where they spend the holidays. In the future, hosting will be great. If you have kids, get mom used to not bending to her way. Yeah, it is an unfortunate thing. It can be hard to adjust to your children becoming adults and no longer being solely a part of your own family unit. They are going to be enmeshed into other family units and they're going to start their own family unit. You no longer have that kind of ownership. You're not their only unit for them to concern themselves with. And it means bending, it means adjusting, especially if the whole point is to be with them, and it doesn't have to be on a specific day or time of year to be with them. It's about sharing. And it's anybody who's gotten married understands, or just in a long term relationship, whatever your deal is, you've learned that now you have to learn how to share the holidays with each other's families because you don't have just the one to think about anymore. You got to do that. And as the parent, you've got to let them go and accept that because you had to do it. You also infringed on someone else's family gatherings and traditions when you and your partner got together or when you had your children, and it can be hard for some people, but it's what we all have to do. Moving on. Okay, our next story was posted by Reluctant Achiever. This is from 6 years ago, and the Just Know mother in law read it. So, again, we're not here to give advice so much as to learn a lesson from someone else's problem. In fact, it even says it's a rant and they're ambivalent about advice. All right, let's see what you got for us. Yep, the Christmas drama has already started somehow. This tends to happen every year, but this year it's been on a whole nother level. So, my GC brother in law and sister in law live a significant drive away. Wait a minute, what does GC mean? What does GC mean? Hold on a second, I'm going to look this up. Okay, I'm getting group chat, general contractor, garbage collection, gas chromatography, George Cross, or gender criticism. I don't think any of those are the acronym in question. Oh wow, that's so funny. It means group chat. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of that. So I don't know what this means in context to a brother and sister-in-law. Oh, I got graphics card. Girl clown. I have no idea. But anyway, maybe you guys know, maybe the comments know, but my GC brother in law and sister in law live a significant drive away, 10 hours plus each way. They are the only ones in the family with kids as well, which I think heavily contributes to the GC status. Okay, again, GC does it mean like favorite or something? But anyway, he was there before then too. So apparently brother-in-law's always been a favored child, maybe that's what the GC is referring to. And now that they've got kids, it happens, it's more. And okay. Mother-in-law sees them multiple times a month, making a weekend drive over and back. Well, youngest brother-in-law lives about a 6-ish hour drive from where we live. We live in the same town as the in-laws. Okay, so let me just get this geographically in my mind. You live in the same town as the in-laws. One brother-in-law and his wife have moved 10 hours away. Mother-in-law makes weekend trips to be with them. Then you have a younger brother-in-law who lives 6 hours away. Okay. So now that everyone's lives are so scattered, holidays are more complicated. Yep, they are going to be. A couple of times, my mother in law has planned and booked a vacation with brother in laws, both of them, and told us this is the plan, y'all come with us, with no consideration to our schedules or availability. It rubs me the wrong way because adults are asked, children are told, and she treats my DH like a child still. The DH is. What the heck is the DH? Hold on. I'm so sorry. I've got designated hitter for baseball. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. I have a dear husband. So maybe this is a dear husband, so maybe this is a a female spouse. Okay, we'll go with a dear husband. Okay, so this is okay. Okay, sorry. The information we're getting is a little scattered. And we're discovering who these people are as we go along. I hope you're enjoying this journey with me. Okay, well, this year we were really surprised when she started asking about plans in advance. Around mid May, she asked me about my graduation from my grad school program and what DH's work schedule looked like around then. He's in industrial stuff, so they plan way ahead for holidays. And that she was thinking of getting a cabin in the mountains between us and the brother in laws. She said she'd talked with them about it, and brother and sister in law and their kids would be able to go too. Great, right? Okay. After us setting boundaries about trips before, i.e., we won't be going if we're not included in the planning and we are considered equally, it seemed like she was turning around. Oh, why was I so optimistic? I roll. Okay, so it looked like she asked you months in advance that how about we get a cabin and it'll be the mid place between you guys and we'll already do this, and she'd already talked to at least one set brother-in-law, the wife, his wife, their kids, and they're able to go. Okay, yeah, and you're like, that sounds great, awesome. Whew. We heard nothing more of it until yesterday. Oldest brother-in-law sent a group text to the family, which smaller rant includes dear husband, oldest brother-in-law and his wife, younger brother-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law. Who's missing? Oh yeah, me. I heard it all secondhand from DH, who is pissed and called them out on me for not being included, asking what everyone's plans are for the holidays. In a confused stupor, we replied that we thought the cabin was a thing and that we'd be doing that. So I don't know what yesterday was because this is from 6 years ago. So I don't know if the yesterday in question was in the month of December or November or October. I don't know how long it's been since they talked to mother in law about the cabin and haven't heard any word about it. That actually would matter, but all right. It's holiday time and nobody's discussed the cabin. Well, this is the first that they had even heard of the cabin or any plans for that because it is sister in law's family's week to visit, and they usually get a cabin in the same area. Weird. I talked to sister in law privately, and between us, we figured it out. Mother in law had booked and paid for the cabin. We looked into the timeshare account that brother and sister in law and the in law share back in May. Oh my goodness, this family is a bit complicated. But of course, they have a timeshare account, and the mother in law used that to book and pay for a cabin back in May when she talked to them about it. But she had never talked to brother and sister in law about it. The kicker, this cabin is a one-bedroom cabin, a studio, for 7 adults and 2 kids under 5. What? Um, okay. Okay. What? Is it just me, or is your head starting to hurt just trying to understand all of these facts? DH called her out in the group message about it, saying, Mom, we heard from you about this cabin in May. Wasn't that the plan that you discussed with brother in law and everyone? No response for a while. Then this morning, oh, it's just a one bedroom, and it was something we had to do to not lose the points for the year. So, totally different story than we were told months ago, and it just feels shady. No one had been told the real story, and I feel that she just wanted to get a cabin an hour away from brother and sister in law and the grandbabies, so she would happen to be in the neighborhood for the holidays and could celebrate with them. The rest of us be damned, I guess. No idea. Oh, okay, I get it, because this is supposed to be sister in law's holiday with her family. So she and brother in law would have an excuse not to celebrate with mom in law. So instead, mom in law made sure that she would be close to them in their place so she'd have an excuse to just happen to be there and celebrate so she could see her grandbabies. That's what I'm gathering. Sister-in-law and I talked, and it was helpful for me. And we agreed that traveling together would be amazing in lieu of adults getting gifts if we would all talk about it and not have this weird triangulation BS going on. But any ideas as to what the heck is going on? I can't make sense of it all, but I've already told DH that I am sitting this one out and limiting my relationship with her from now on. I don't like being around manipulative people, and this feels backhanded and slimy to me. It's 'cause it is, sweetie. It's really over the top and manipulative and really ridiculous. And yeah, I would also bow out. I'd be like, okay, this is a game I don't want to play. She can play it by herself on her own court. I exit the situation. But yeah, it does sound like she thought it would be a good idea, but I don't know why she'd bring it up to you when she knew she was only booking a cabin that none of you could fit in. All just so she'd have the cabin so that she would be close to the grandbabies. Oh, my word. My word. May this family drama never find me. Let's go to the comments. Okay. Someone said the same thing happened to me last year, but it was about Thanksgiving. When DH and I told mother-in-law we would not be attending dinner, she got super upset. And someone says, "Oh, I'm so sorry this is happening. My former mother-in-law did stuff like this all the time for Christmas. She'd wait till the last minute to tell us about how she, father-in-law, and everyone else was going to Florida or up north or wherever, and then act shocked when we couldn't go because it was literally like a week or two beforehand." Oof, I can't stand when people do that. Someone else said, I could be wrong here, but I read her response to me in that y'all and other brother in law are no longer invited. She is literally just stalking brother and sister in law and grandkids for Christmas. OP said, I thought that from the start. DH kind of pieced his theory together too, that the family all being together is important for appearances, but she wants to see them, everyone else be damned. So she's trying to somehow make it appear as if she's trying to do everything, but really only going for her ultimate goal. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too. She just really wants to see her grandbabies, and right now really favors the son who had the grandbabies, and it sounds like he was a favorite before that, whatever the GC stands for. And yeah, but she wants it to seem like she wants the whole family to be there and create situations where the rest of the family can't be there. But oh, she tried. I guess she'll just have to do Christmas with the grandbabies. Sorry, everyone else. I am of the mindset that we as individual family units should decide how we want to spend the holidays. My husband, as do all Americans, gets very little vacation time, so when he's off of work, like around the holidays, the last thing any of us want to do is deal with crazy pants adults who act like spoiled children. It's so annoying that around any holiday, his mom, my just no mother in law, tries to insert herself. If she was nice and acted like an adult, it would be great. But she's not, and she doesn't want to. I think you and your husband should decide together if you want to do your own thing this Christmas or deal with that. Time for some boundaries. And think of how nice a Christmas at home without all of that would be. OP said, I agree. And in the near future, I likely won't have any holidays off or on a rotating schedule. People in crisis don't wait on your holiday to be over. Us having some time to chill to ourselves is few and far between as it is. I think that's really great advice. That's where you have to start realizing you have created your own family unit and it is now going to take priority over the one you basically came from. You know, that's what you're doing when you get married. You're making a whole new person your priority. And that takes a long time for many of us to realize that's what we've done. All right, we're going to move on to the next story. Okay, this next story was written by Gnome for Christmas. It's from 2 days ago, so we got a recent one here. Maybe we can offer some advice. All right. Yet another Christmas drama. Walk me through this because I genuinely don't understand what is going on. I never grew up with Christmas, East heritage, but my husband is Western. I've been joining in on Christmas for the last 11 years of our 12-year relationship. Okay, so you've had at least a decade to start understanding his traditions and how most people in the West treat this holiday. All right. We had a week-old baby last Christmas, so we missed out. This year, my husband's sister's kid gets hand, foot, and mouth. Hold on. Okay, I've heard of that, but let's just make sure we know exactly what that is. Okay, hand, foot, and mouth disease is a common contagious viral illness, usually mild, causing fever, sore throat, and a rash with blisters on the hands, feet, and in the mouth, most often affecting young children in summer and fall. Ugh, that sounds horrible. I've never had it, but yes, I have heard of it. I think, well, that sucks. Timing, roles reversed. I would have kept my kid home and just missed on Christmas again. But she comes and brings said sick child who is miserable. The poor thing literally won't stop crying and needs constant pain relief. My baby doesn't have hand, foot, and mouth, and we arrived before they did. Okay, I don't know. I agree with this person. I probably would not bring a child that was that sick to a family celebration, no matter what. I wouldn't want to get any of my other nieces and nephews sick. I wouldn't want to get anybody sick. And I wouldn't want to put my kids through it. So that's just me. But we've already know there are plenty of people who do not think bringing their sick child into your area is something they shouldn't do. I don't know, that part of their brain, it's missing. So here we go. This sister-in-law was like, "Oh yeah, I know my kid is miserably sick and contagious, and you have a new baby, but I'm totally bringing them to Christmas." Oh, this poor baby. And this child sounds like they were miserable, and I completely understand why they would be. They just want to be home. These are the facts as it stands today. I don't understand how I'm in the wrong for being upset because my nephew now puts my kid at risk of being equally miserable. Me suggesting they shouldn't have come to my husband in private was taken super offensively. I also privately suggested I take the baby home as they haven't interacted much and I could maybe avoid the virus. But this is also being treated like I'm offensive. I respect Christmas and I get wanting to be together, but I won't relax knowing my 1 year old might get sick with something that I can see truly is making an older toddler super unwell and unhappy. Completely understood. I don't think a family event is more important than my baby's wellness. It's one thing if he accidentally gets sick, but I feel I am being truly negligent as a parent to walk him into a situation where I know there is a virus that is highly contagious and painful for a baby, for an event he won't remember and doesn't fully understand right now anyway. So, as I understand, you didn't even say this out loud to the rest of the family. You didn't say it to the sister in law. You didn't say it to the parents. You said this in private to your husband that you were concerned that she'd brought the child. And you also said to him privately that you should take your baby home. And he's the one who acts like this is super offensive. Okay, all because it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Health be damned, right? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like it. I'm just gonna be straight. I don't. I know it's disappointing. I'm disappointed too. What would you do? I think it's clear what I would do. I would take my kid home, and then me and my hubby would be having some words when he finally got there. Because I'd be like, "You can stay. You should stay with your family, but I'm taking the baby home." Um, but we will be talking about your reaction to me suggesting something really reasonable. Um, okay. There are a couple edits. Let's see what these say. Edit for those asking. Yes, I did take my baby home. Husband blew up a stink, acting like it's his responsibility to come home with me too, after he said he'd rather be there for Christmas, and now has the audacity to be annoyed I'm not considering his feelings, so everyone's pissed. This is the second Christmas I've missed, and yes, my sister in law has instances of being selfish exactly like this in the past. I guess F me, right? Second edit. Thank you to everyone who supported me. I was in such a tough spot and feel better knowing any sane person would have felt the same. I wanted to stay on Christmas. I no, okay. I wanted to say on Christmas, my husband, our baby, and I had the best time. My in laws sent a mercy food parcel, which we had for dinner, and mash, roast, veg, etc. Our baby had a blast. We played and laughed and listened to Christmas music. If we planned it that way, it would have been an ideal Christmas, but we felt sad. My husband apologized and said we made the right decision. He just really didn't want to miss another Christmas. I get it. I didn't either, but we had no choice. He's been messaging his sister and is grumpy with her, but I'm staying out of it. I feel we made the best decision as it's now been 5 days since he was exposed to my nephew pre symptoms and he's showing no signs of hand, foot, and mouth. So didn't catch it that day. And hopefully we left in time to prevent him from catching it altogether. Overall, my parents in law have supported our decision, and it sounds like my nephew was miserable the whole time. I'm not sure if they said anything to my sister in law, but it's not my business to know. I'm just glad I kept my baby safe and everyone is in a happier place. For those asking me to update if anyone else gets hand, foot, and mouth at the house, my answer is no, and I won't be trying to find out. I'm making it a point to avoid everyone for 2 weeks at least, and I don't even want to know who else got sick. I'm just glad my baby is okay. Merry Christmas, everyone. Okay, so this looks like it did work out. All right. I mean, the initial post made it sound like this was going to be this big uproar because she wanted to go home, but it doesn't really sound like it was. It sounds like as I said, she privately spoke to her husband about it. He got mad. He, thought she was being selfish and taking him away from his family Christmas. But it also looks like by the time they got home, they had a fine Christmas, just the three of them. Sure, they were disappointed that they missed out on the big Christmas with the family, but it sounds like he was like, you were right, and I'm glad that we did this, even if it's not ideal. So, I mean, that was fine. It doesn't sound like the in laws were mad at her for doing it. Sounds like they completely agreed that it was the only thing she should have done with the baby. It sounds like the husband is actually more upset with his sister now, which that's where it should have been directed at his sister who brought a sick, contagious child to the family function. Um, so this worked out fine. Almost feels like it didn't need to be here. Is that just me? This doesn't sound like this was really that big of a drama. But you guys want to check out what the comments have to say? Let's go. Keep in mind, I imagine many of these comments were made before the edits that gave us the whole picture of the situation. So they're probably going to be reacting from the immediate what was posted. OMG, say sorry and take the baby home. His family is crazy. Hand, foot, and mouth is the worst virus my baby has ever gotten, and she's had everything, including the norovirus. It's so painful and awful for them. Unless he is truly being quarantined in a room somewhere and everyone else is hand washing a lot, they are being negligent and selfish. The OP said their toddler is not quarantined at all. No extra hand washing is happening. Their reasoning is our kids saw each other 2 days before my nephew showed symptoms, so my baby likely has it anyway. But he's showing no signs or symptoms. I just want to take him home, but I'm being treated like I'm being offensive and ruining everything. Okay, so she wrote this while she was still at the house trying to decide what to do. And but again, it sounds like the only person who was offended at her wanting to go was her husband, not the in-laws, and it doesn't even sound like the sister-in-law knew she wanted to go. Um, and we see that the sister-in-law just figured it was fine because the kids had been around each other a few days before nephew showed symptoms. Yeah. This is what happens when you post something when you're in the middle of it. it does sound like it's bigger than it actually is. She seems like she just felt a little overwhelmed in that moment, posted this, people jump in, and it really wasn't that big of a deal because husband got over it real quick, understood, the in-laws understood. I actually don't see the need to go any further into this one. This was not a very big drama. Next story. Okay, this one was written by Phobia Account. It was from 3 years ago, so there's no advice we can offer, but we can just enjoy the ride. I'm not getting my partner's side of the family anything for Christmas, and his mum is furious. And I'm enjoying the drama. Okay, let's see if we will too. My partner, 24 male, and I, 23 male, have been together for 3 years. For the first 2 years, we went to his family's house for Christmas. Me and his mom didn't hit it off well when we met. I'm not sure what happened, but she immediately didn't like me. We didn't see her much after the first meeting though, so I never really had a chance to make it up to her until Christmas. I didn't know her well, so I found what I thought was a pretty minimalist necklace with green agate. It was just the right shade to be what my partner said was her favorite color. I thought she liked it at first, until later on in the year, after I met up with his family and saw her niece wearing it. I asked where she got it from, and she told me my partner's mom was just going to throw it away. Ouch, that hurts. I was a little pissed, but didn't say anything. It cost me $100, which isn't super expensive for some people, but as someone who lives paycheck to paycheck, it kind of sucked. Absolutely. I live in the income bracket where I'm not spending $100 to get my in law just one item. I mean, a piece of jewelry, I'm sorry, we're not like that. Even if I really like you, I don't have that kind of money to spend. I'm sorry. That's for your husband or your children to do, not not me. And I wouldn't expect you to do it for me either, okay? So yeah, I'm with you. I'd be upset too. I spent $100 on you, lady, and I don't have to. I've only been dating your son for a few years, and I'm just trying to do something nice for you, and you're gonna throw it away? Like, wow. Just regift it. She was gonna throw it away before the niece claimed it. Like, that's messed up. Come on, pawn it. You know what I mean? Sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Jeez. Anyway, my partner my partner asked his mom why she wanted to throw it out, and she said she just wouldn't have worn it. Again, you didn't have to throw it out. Oh, wow. Fine, whatever. Maybe I got her style wrong. It was her gift and she could do what she wanted with it, I guess. She gave me an Iron Maiden shirt that year that was way too small and an odd choice because if you saw me, your first thought would definitely not be metalhead. I wear overalls and a lot of cottage core clothing because it's cute. So it's not like she put a ton of effort into my gift and was upset I didn't put in as much. Yeah, that seems weird. Like, you just got this person a t-shirt that doesn't match their aesthetic, and they've clearly never expressed to you that they're into this, but you didn't like the $100 necklace they got you and you were just going to toss it in the trash. I'm sure she would really hate it if you tossed that t-shirt in the trash. Anyway, some people. So for the second Christmas, I put an effort to get to know her beforehand. I talked to her sister, my partner's auntie, and found out she grew up in the same hometown as me and she missed it a lot. But because it was a 10-hour drive away, it wasn't somewhere she could visit easily. I brought this up to her next time we met, and she and I talked about the town and started to get along more. In particular, though, she mentioned how much she missed the smell of our town. There was a macadamia nut farm next to the bourbon distillery that smelled really nice together because of the molasses, and the beach nearby was surrounded by eucalyptus and wattles and always smelled amazing. That does sound really nice. And I'd like to get a whiff of that. I had, again, what I thought was a great idea. I had a friend who makes candles, so I commissioned two custom candles, a macadamia whiskey and vanilla candle and a salt eucalyptus and wattle candle. Oh, those both sound like they would smell really nice. I was so excited for her to open them on Christmas. And when she just said, "Oh, that's neat," and put them to the side. Thankfully for my ego, her sister was way more excited about them and even made her light them while we sat out back. My partner's mom just ended up handing them off to her after we left, and the aunt called us to tell us and ask how she could get more. Wow. Okay, so you're putting a lot of thought into a woman you barely know. So the first Christmas you spent with her, you got her jewelry. And then the second one, you literally had specific candles made for her to smell like the place she grew up. Do not buy this woman any more presents because either she's somebody who's like, there's some people who do not appreciate presents unless they're specifically what they asked for. I have met these people. They take all of the joy out of present giving, but that's just the way they are. And there's some people who, even if she might have liked the presents, but she can't like them because she don't like you. So don't buy this woman any more presents. All right, let's continue. Oh no, OP's still going. So this year, I was planning as a Christmas birthday combined gift to pay for half of a trip away to our hometown with my partner and his dad paying the other half. It was going to be a week-long uh, vacation set on her birthday with hotels, drinks, food, and travel included, all up around $2,000, though at the time we only had paid around $1,000 for the travel and hotel bookings. I saved up all year for this because I really wanted her to like me because I love my boyfriend and we're going to be together for a long time. And I feel like that means me and her should at least sort of get along. My, wow. You are doing a lot. You're doing more for this woman who is not even legally your mother-in-law because you're not married to her son. And you, again, this is the third Christmas you've known her, and she has shown no gratitude for anything you've done for her. You're spending and doing more for her than many people actually do for their significant others. I hope you realize that, okay? Like, you have a big heart, or you are just really obsessed with people liking you. I get it, but dang, I know this couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. You're clearly a better person than me. Anyway, let's see how this one went pear-shaped. A week ago, she came over to have lunch with my partner, and he told me he had come over to tell me not to buy her any gifts because she didn't want some tacky little trinkets bought from Target. Oh, heck no. That's what she's, wow. That's what she thinks of you. Okay. Yeah. So my tacky little holiday was canceled 2 days later, and I've used my half of the refund to buy my partner some Lego that he's always wanted but could never afford as just a general gift because he puts up with me and I love him. It's going to get here in a month, so I've been thinking about giving it to him as a Valentine's present. Exactly. The money can be better spent on a person who actually cares about you and treats you well instead of this bish. Ugh. On Sunday, we had an early Christmas because it was the only time my partner's grandmother would be in town. When it came time for gifts, I got everyone something but her. And she looked upset when she realized, but didn't say anything. Yeah, she can't. She didn't want anything tacky, remember? She pulled my partner aside and asked why she didn't get anything. And my partner told her what her gift was going to be and that it was already refunded like she asked. She started crying, sort of, mostly yelling and crying noises with no tears, and threw the food that was on the table on the floor and drove home alone. Oh, wow. She threw she threw a full-on tantrum. Oh, wow. She has some nerve. Oh, the whole grain audacity of this bitch. She's been calling us for the past 3 days, trying to get me to change my mind. And no one but her mom is on her side. Yeah, I bet they're not on her side. I'm a very petty person, and it's been a genuinely fun time answering her calls lately. We're having a second Christmas lunch for my partner's dad's side of the family this Sunday, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Wow. Let's see, edit. Thank you so much for all the support. It actually means a lot. I did just want to quickly defend her to let you know there's no homophobia here at all. She's a loud LGBTQ supporter. She's just mean as a person. Thank you for the clarification. It's good to know that yeah, she doesn't have a problem with her gay son and his boyfriend. She just a bish. I love the way this story ended. It wouldn't have taken me this many times to realize what a garbage person I was dealing with, but hey, you cannot say you didn't give it everything you could for this woman. You kept trying to get her something nice, and it all made sense. The first Christmas, you barely knew her. You got her a nice piece of jewelry. Again, you spent $100 on jewelry for this woman, okay? And again, that's something that's usually reserved for a partner. Maybe your child when they reach a certain age, you get them a nice, really good watch or a ring or something like that. But you did that for her, just to show you cared. You put effort, you put money into that. And she didn't appreciate it. So the next time you were like, okay, maybe it should be more personal, more tailored to who she is. You went out of your way to find out something personal about her and had something custom made for her. And she couldn't even pretend she liked it when she received it. And I mean, her sister was more excited about it than she was, and then has the audacity to be annoyed like this Christmas coming up, says to her own son about her son's partner, ah, don't just tell him not even to get me anything because I don't want something tacky from Target. And then when she doesn't get a present, she's like, where's my present? If you thought it was gonna be something tacky from Target and didn't want it, why are you waiting for a present? Like, what kind of person is this? Yeah, she's just mean. And then just throw a tantrum when she finds out what the present was gonna be and she didn't get it. I can see why your boyfriend, I can see why his parents aren't together. I really can. Oh boy, I can't. Well, let's go see how the comments eat her up. If someone consistently treats you like rubbish, then it's only natural to stop trying to make an effort with them. True that. Your presents were very thoughtful. Mother in law sounds unstable. You did the right thing. I'm so glad your partner backed you up and rubbed it in her face that she was the one that asked for nothing. Save your time and energy for people who matter. Absolutely. This level of pettiness is something I can only aspire to. Keep doing the Lord's work, sister. It sounds like it doesn't matter what you did. No matter what choices you made, your mother in law was going to find a way to throw it in your face. With a person like that, you were much more accommodating, considerate, patient, and forgiving than I would have been. I applaud you for your generous, kind soul. Your decision to nix the trip and skip the gift was clearly correct. Please continue loving your boyfriend and ignore your mother in law. Yeah, exactly. This person was really trying. That's what makes it upsetting. And I also love the fact that you don't know how petty a person can be. They can be the kindest person you've ever met who would go out of their way for you. But once you've bricked them too many times, then you'll see that they're done. And I like that about this OP. Like they were willing to go out of their way for this person until it was like, oh, okay, you don't want me to even try? Fine. And this was the best gift of all. And she lost out on it. And it's like a storybook ending, actually. It's always shocking to me when people reveal themselves to be blatantly tacky. Imagine thinking you're too fancy for cheap trinkets, which were actually very thoughtful gifts, and just saying it. Anyone with the smallest amount of class would graciously wear a necklace given to them, even if it was the ugliest piece of ish, or put it out the candles, even if they were gross. She's an embarrassment, and I'm glad you're having a fun time rubbing her nose in it. Exactly. She threw food on the floor? Oh, hell no. Yeah, what is she? 3 years old? I can't even remember the last time I saw a 3-year-old do that. I am a very petty human as well, so I am a fan of your style. Keep it up. And one last set of comments. Let's see. If you took her on the trip, she probably would have complained it wasn't good enough. You are incredibly thoughtful and not petty at all. Your gifts were lovely, and she's missing out on having a wonderful and meaningful relationship with you and now her son. Sucks to suck, Mom. That's a really good point. I mean, is it really petty what the OP's actually doing? I mean, I suppose some people would, but considering all the effort they've already put forth to show that their consideration towards this person, all they've done is stop. That's not exactly petty, really. I mean, not in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah, that's a good point to make. She told you not to get her anything, so she should not have been surprised not to get anything. That's not even petty. That's just following her instructions. Exactly. I have had several people in my life who used gift giving as power plays. My mom was the worst. She rejected every gift, often peevishly. One year, I got her some maple syrup, and she tried to give it back to me even though she ate pancakes all the time. I just like my log cabin syrup. Oh, come the F on. It was so irritating that my whole family hated giving her gifts because she used them as an opportunity to be a little mean. Take your gifts, smile, and send a thank you. What's so hard about that? Exactly. I mean, it's a gift for Pete's sake. I would stop trying to buy her approval. You did a great thing canceling the trip. I would never have spent $1,000 for anyone for Christmas or major milestone or birthday that I wasn't blood related to. Your other presents have been just awesome. She just doesn't want what you gift her. That is her problem. Yeah. Let's see. And the last one. I had a mother in law who did something similar. After 2 times, I stopped buying her things. When she got an attitude and asked why, I flat out told her she didn't deserve them. And until her attitude improves, she wouldn't be getting anything. She told me to stop treating her like a child. I told her to act like a grown up then. Nobody ever stood up to her. She terrified everyone. I came from abusive, narcissistic parents. That woman didn't stand a chance. She was an amateur to me. Oh, nice. Well, you know what? Good for you, commenter. You were like, I learned. I came from this household and I know I won't put up with it. I've learned how to deal with it rather than continuing the cycle in my own life. So kudos to you. All right. That was great. I had fun with that Christmas drama. That was fun Christmas drama. Moving on. All right, next. This one was deleted. So I don't know if the account is deleted or if that's just I think that's what it is. This is from 4 years ago. So again, we're just here for the ride. Oh, sorry. It starts with, am I the a-hole for destroying family Christmas? That's a big claim. It takes a lot to destroy a family Christmas. So let's see if you actually did. I'm holding this to a high standard because you're laying the groundwork. I'm expecting a destroyed family Christmas. Okay. Unless you're just being sarcastic, and that's what everyone's saying you did. All right, let's go. I've been with my wife for about 5 years, married 2, and we have a 1-year-old son. My mom is the type of person who doesn't like change, doesn't like new people, and keeps to herself. That being said, she isn't controlling and doesn't seem to care what her kids do with their lives. But she doesn't like when she feels things are pushed on her. She's also someone who will just keep doing what she does without thinking. So when she continued to buy me lavish gifts, but nothing for my wife or baby, I didn't think it was malicious, but it did hurt my wife that even after marriage, my mom wasn't buying her gifts. Okay. All right. I see. All right. I think we got a good picture of mom. She's not a controlling person. She doesn't seem to be mean, but she does she's got her bubble and she likes to stay in her bubble. And I do think it's weird that she didn't buy anything for her grandchild though. Like I get not buying anything for, a daughter or son-in-law. Some families just don't do that, but not for your grandchild? That's weird to me. Okay, let's go. But I do understand his wife being hurt because she probably came from a family where that was the norm. It means you're included in the family. But okay, let's continue. I sat down with my mom and explained this. My mom was totally shocked and couldn't believe my wife expected a gift. I tried to explain that my wife is a part of the family now, but my mom was upset and said she has 3 kids and shouldn't have to pretend my wife is her kid. She really seemed surprised. So I do think that it was genuine, and she kept saying how mortified she would be if her husband expected gifts from her parents and that she wouldn't be with such an entitled child. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Her mom is clearly from a family where that just wasn't the norm. And I can relate to this. When I was first married, like Christmas isn't a big deal in my family. And so gift giving is something that isn't obligatory. And some Christmases there aren't any gifts when I was growing up. Sometimes it was just about experiences you had with the family. And then sometimes there were gifts. It just wasn't a big deal. I can recall Christmases where me and my brothers didn't get any gifts from the adults. We got stockings with little treats and candies, and we did things, but there were no presents. But for example, my brothers and I, we wanted to buy presents, so my grandfather gave us money and sent us into the dollar store and just let us have free reign, and we gave gifts because we felt like doing it. So I grew up in that kind of family. So I didn't ever expect presents, nor did I feel obligated to give presents. But then I got married, and the first Christmas I spent with his family, his parents got me presents, and I was very shocked. I wasn't expecting anything from them, and I felt bad because I hadn't gotten them anything. I got my husband one, and I got, like I just didn't think to do anything more than that. And I was like, and they always got me a present. And I was like, but that was what they came from. That's what they were used to. And so this is two clashing, um, like family cultures coming together. Finally, I told my mom to just stop. It is okay if she has a difference of opinion, but she's hurting my wife and it needs to stop. My mom thought about it for a couple months, talked to my sisters, who said she should just suck it up and buy gifts for our partners, and her ultimate decision was that she didn't want to host Christmas anymore. Wow. That is the definition of stuck in your ways. Wow. I thought she was bluffing, so I ignored it for months. I realized she was serious and said, "Fine, we can do it at my house." But she didn't want to come. I mailed her a small gift as a test. She mailed it back. Finally, I was like, F it, and did Christmas with my wife, sisters, and their partners. That is crazy. This is unrecognizable to me. This is more than just I'm from a different family culture. This is I don't like anything telling me I gotta change. I don't embrace. I mean, he did say she don't like change, but this is pathological in my opinion. Both of my sisters were miserable the whole time, and one cried, which I thought was crazy dramatic. My mom was on vacation and had her phone off. The sister who cried finally blew up that my wife and I ruined Christmas and ruined our family, and she left early. Her and my other sister called mom later and finally got her to answer and begged her to do a normal Christmas again. My mom said she feels like now that we're all getting married and having kids, it shouldn't be her problem anymore. And she will think about it, but is leaning towards me. Is leaning towards me? I don't know what that means. Now my sisters are angry and I feel that I ruined family Christmas. I'm just gonna say that doesn't sound like it was a family Christmas worth preserving. That sounds horrible. I mean, what is the point of having children and then they go out into the world and they have partners, but your attitude is their partners will never be part of this family. Everything stays the same. Like, what? And her reaction to being told, well, maybe you could buy extra presents, okay, is to screw it. I just won't do Christmas anymore. If I have to buy extra presents, I'm not doing Christmas anymore. And it's like, wow, you could buy the woman socks. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to Walmart and get one of those like little shower Christmas packages they put together for like under $20 and just a token gift. That's all you'd have to do if you heard that your daughter-in-law felt hurt and excluded in your family Christmas because you don't get her anything. You could just do that. If that's how you feel about having to buy this woman a present, because she's not your child. You could give her a token present. It's not that difficult. What did this woman do when her children went to birthday parties? Did she believe that they shouldn't have to bring a present to the birthday party because those weren't her kids? I'm just curious. Like, what is her litmus test as to who is gift worthy? That's crazy. This woman has given birth to your grandchild. You're not even buying the grandchild a present. And you're so stubborn about the idea that you would rather not have Christmas. Wow. I don't know what even to say to OP. I don't know. There's no update on this. So I guess you did destroy family Christmas. Oh my gosh. But again, I'm not sure this was a family Christmas worth preserving because it just sounds like it hurt. It just anyway, let's go to the comments. Not the a-hole. Your family sounds exhausting. Getting a present for the partners of your children isn't that strange, and frankly, it's weird that your mom hadn't considered it before. And your sister going into hysterics because your mom went on vacation and wasn't there seems ridiculous. Everyone needs to calm down. Maybe considering heading out of town with your wife next year and escaping the holiday drama. Exactly. Like, just reading that made I just couldn't believe. Like, exhausting is the perfect word for it. Your family is exhausting. These are not Christmases I even want to keep. It's time to start a new tradition with my family, with my wife and my child. Like, that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Yeah, I don't buy for a second that mom was shocked that she's expected to buy a gift for her daughter-in-law and grandchild. Sounds like she's a master manipulator and it's working on both her daughters. OP should start a new holiday tradition with his immediate family. Exactly. Cuz this is messed up. OP's mom definitely knows that it's normal to buy gifts for daughter-in-law and grandchild. This has nothing to do with not liking change. This is just a game she enjoys playing. I bet she loved it when they rang her and all the attention was back on her. Even now, she's keeping them all waiting with the will she, won't she host again nonsense. OP, your mom is doing this on purpose, creating upset and playing people off each other. You and your sisters need to realize the level of manipulation involved here. And see, here I wasn't even thinking manipulation was involved. I was trying to give this woman the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, these guys have a point, you know? I wouldn't put up with this. That's for sure. If my mother ever pulled something like this, I'd be like, "Who are you, woman?" But then again, I suppose if I was raised by a manipulative person, would I even recognize it? Yeah, we accept the reality with what we're presented. So I mean, OP wouldn't recognize if his mother had been manipulating the situation. You notice he started by defending his mom from the start. But to give him props, he also brought it to his mother's attention that his wife's feelings were hurt. And his wife probably brought it to his attention that, it's weird your mom never buys me a gift or our baby, you know? And he pressed it. So, yeah, wow. I agree. Prime example, she went on vacation and turned her phone off so that no one could reach her on Christmas and everyone would worry. And the attention is on her. She has played her game well. Okay. We got a master manipulator on our hands. Also, not getting Christmas presents for her grandchildren. What kind of heartless monster is your mother? Let's see. I can kind of understand. She absolutely blamed the wrong person, but her mother wasn't just on vacation. Her mother was punishing all of them. Oh, she's talking about the sister, flipping out. She didn't respond fairly. I hope she comes to her senses and apologizes to OP, but of course she was hurt. This may also be the only time anyone stood up to her. I highly doubt it's the only time the mother has been manipulative. Yes, this is a good point too. If we've got a whole family who are being manipulated by this mother, and this is the way her family has run. It's worked for her. Nobody has said anything. And all of a sudden it's changing because her children are getting married. It's her son who got married, and that's where the change is coming. Her daughters got married and nothing changed, so her daughters stayed in line, but her son, her baby boy, he's the one who's changing things up. narcissists do get their feelings hurt. It doesn't mean it's okay what they're doing to you, but she got hurt, so she reacted out unproportionately, and then the sister is losing her mind because mom's not here and she's directing her anger at the wrong person. And oh, this family. Let me see. It made me think of that allegory that shows up on Raised by Narcissists, sometimes about boat rockers. She is so used to steadying things around mom that other people asserting normal boundaries sounds like they're the one causing the problems because mom is just like that. I think if OP sat and thought about his upbringing, he would find a lot more instances of his mom causing issues that others around her have to fix that he never noticed because that's just how he grew up. Bingo. Exactly. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Dorothy, you explained it better than I could. Um, let's see. I could overlook no gifts for your wife, maybe, but none for your child? That's the much bigger issue. To accept lavish gifts if the baby gets nothing really bugs me. Yep, if an adult doesn't get a present, it is what it is. But not to want to give presents to her own grandchild is awful. And for her to sabotage Christmas for being challenged and pitting your sisters against you during the holidays is vile. I agree. I agree. Wow. See, the comments are helping me understand something that I didn't pick up from the story because I was hearing the story from the son's point of view. He does not see anything his mother did as manipulative, so it didn't pop into my head that what she was doing was manipulative. I thought it was crazy, but so thank you. See, sometimes I'm telling you, outside, context can make a huge difference. Okay, here's an interesting comment. OP says she's not controlling, but she managed to emotionally manipulate things so well that his sisters are begging her to just go back to how things were and blaming OP's wife for screwing things up. It's roundabout, but it's very controlling. But here's an edit. Some folks are talking about whether the mom may be neurodivergent in other threads, and I actually think that's an interesting alternative explanation. Still controlling, but maybe without intentional emotional manipulation. She couldn't accept the change to how she does things, and so is avoiding it altogether. That's how she maintains control. And if the sisters are also neurodivergent, it could explain their strong negative reactions to the change this year. Either way, that's an explanation and not an excuse. Mom's rigidity and lack of empathy for other points of view is going to continue to cause conflicts. That's a really good point of view. Nice thing to point out. Newsflash, your mother absolutely is controlling. You just never noticed before because you were staying in line. Your sisters are still under the thumb, which is why they're reacting badly to your absolutely normal and reasonable request and your mother's absolutely abnormal and unreasonable response. But that's their problem, not yours. Raising a kid is hard enough without trying to parent grown adults too. Stick to your guns. Either your wife and child are included in Family Christmas, or Family Christmas will just be you, your wife, and your child. Let the rest of them sort themselves out, not the a-hole. Yeah, that's a solution. Uh, let's see. Yep, mom controls not by screaming, but by stubbornness and withdrawal of affection as punishment when people don't do what she wants. Given the apparent pattern of withdrawing affection, I'm not surprised OP's wife was wary about what it signified to be very overtly not to be included. Yeah, okay. And one last comment. Wow, that's a whole lot of manipulation. First of all, not the a-hole. At least in every family I know, gifts for the spouses are the norm. Part of marriage is the merging of your two families, which is why your mother is now your wife's mother-in-law. However, she clearly isn't okay with that part of the bargain, and by challenging her, you put a target on your back. I'm not sure what to tell you to do on this one. The damage is already done. Your mother has manipulated your other family members into resenting you by behaving like a spoiled brat, and you'll have to pick up the pieces as you see fit. Don't let her gaslight you into thinking you're the bad guy here, though. Your family isn't to blame. Yeah, this one's tricky. I've never had to deal with something like this myself. I'm sure other people in my family may have, and they've all had to deal with things. I know that I've had to go through the family changing because people have gotten married and have children, and it's not easy. It can be difficult. When my uncles started getting married, it'd been a long time since anyone had done that. It'd just been my mom and me and my brothers. We were the only grandkids in the family for many years. And so all of our holidays stayed the same. And then when my uncles started getting married and having children, I was in my teens by the time that happened. So imagine that's many, many years where this was just a family tradition for everyone. And then their family lives had to change because they had wives with other families and they had children and other needs. And at first it wasn't easy. And I remember being a kid and being upset when my uncles were like, "Oh, we gotta go." And I'm like, why? And it was really easy to blame the wives because you're a kid, you don't know any better. You're just like, it's because of them, everything's changing. But that's just a natural thing. That's what happens. And so it was bumpy, but we figured it out and had to accept the changes and the balance. And then, of course, I grew up, I got married, and I was like, oh, I get it now. My family isn't the only family I have to think about anymore. I have a husband, he has a family, we're going to have a child. And so, wow, it wasn't this rough. And so I feel for OP. I hope he figured it out. I wish him well 4 years later. Wow, good luck. I hope it all worked out for you. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. What would you do or how have you handled situations like this? Whew, moving on. Okay, last story by Carlo S89. This is from a year ago, so we are just here for the funsies. Am I the a-hole for accidentally causing a domino effect of drama at my office's Secret Santa and Christmas party? Ooh, what did you do? All right, here we go. So I, 29 female, recently started a new job as a PA at one of the big banks in London. What is a PA? I want to educate myself. Let me look it up. Okay, I'm getting personal assistant. I know maybe I should have known that. I feel kind of silly, but I've never worked in an office. So, all right, new job as a personal assistant in a big bank in London. Okay, good for you. All right. The team is nice enough, but one coworker, let's call her Karen, mid 50s, has been a lot. She's the kind of PA who thinks she runs the place, constantly dropping hints about her importance and making snide comments about others' gifts or choices. You get the picture. Okay, we've all worked with someone like her, whether in an office or in retail or somewhere. Anyway, our office does a Secret Santa every year, and Karen took it upon herself to organize it, which really just meant micromanaging and then passing off the hard work to others. Yours truly. She also announced her wish list to everyone, even though the whole point is that it's anonymous. She made it crystal clear she wanted nothing below 50 pounds, name dropping brands like Joe Malone and Fortnum and Mason. Mind you, the official budget was 20 pounds. Okay, see, this is why I don't do Secret Santa with people who are not my friends and family. I'm not spending that kind of money on a coworker. If I like you, if I work with you and I like you enough, I'm going to buy you a present. Like if on my own, I'm not just buying presents for people in the office. No, thanks. I don't want presents for you. I'm not buying presents for you. No, especially when you got people going around, nothing below 50 pound. Get out of here, woman. I don't like you. I'm not being in the Secret Santa if it means I got to get her a present. No friggin' way. I don't know why people think it's fun to do Secret Santa with coworkers. Unless you got a great working environment, I don't even know why people do it. Especially when you get so many stories like this. There's always a coworker you can't stand. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, fast forward to the Christmas party last week. I got paired with someone else for Secret Santa and didn't think much about Karen's gift until someone joked that Karen's going to lose her mind if she gets another cheap candle this year. I casually mentioned that someone had been clever this time and got her a novelty mug with Queen of Everything on it, which I saw when I was helping to wrap the gifts. Turns out Karen overheard me and chaos ensued. Oh, P. I thought if you were really staying out of this, you would have kept your mouth shut. You just said, I didn't think much about it until someone else spoke up. You clearly were paying attention and just had to say something. Okay, let's see the chaos. Karen was livid, saying it was disrespectful and offensive to her position. Why? I wouldn't be upset if someone got me a Queen of Everything on it. I'd be like, yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm that bitch. That's right. Don't forget it. Like, she could have just owned that. She didn't have to get offended. She chose to. All right. She immediately started trying to guess who her secret Santa was, which led to her storming around the party grilling people. One of the directors, who everyone knows hates Karen, found the whole thing hilarious and teased her about needing to lighten up. Cue Karen snapping back, "At least I don't sleep with my team members." Yep, she said that out loud at a party. Wow, you really did start a domino, but honestly, can you be blamed for Karen taking it this far? You just mentioned what her gift was. And her gift is not terrible, but obviously it was, I get the sense that it wasn't meant as a term of endearment, queen of everything. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you messed up. You could have kept your mouth shut. But everything that's happening after, Karen is the one choosing to overreact, lose her mind, march around the party, grilling people, say, "Who got me this gift?" And it was one of the directors who took this up a notch, by getting involved. Maybe this director thought he was de escalating, or she thought she was de escalating by telling her to lighten up. Karen is the one who's turned this into chaos, but at least I don't sleep with my team members. Oh, this is all Karen, okay? This set off a chain reaction because apparently the director had been rumored to have a thing with a senior manager, something I didn't even know until Karen brought it up. The room went silent, and then Karen doubled down, saying, "Oh, come on, we all know about the business trips." Wow. You know, just between you and me, I wish I was at this party. I wish I could have. I wish I'd been like a plus one, just so I could watch this go down. Wouldn't want to work with these people, but I would love to have witnessed this. Meanwhile, another coworker, let's call her Emily, stormed out crying because she's married to the senior manager in question. Turns out Emily also suspected something, but hearing it in front of the whole office was the breaking point. Oh my goodness. Whew. By the end of the night, Karen's Queen of Everything mug was the least of anyone's concerns. HR had to step in to diffuse things, and Karen was called into a meeting the next morning. Apparently, her behavior at the party was the final straw, and she's now been reassigned to a less prominent department. Here's where I might be the a hole. I genuinely didn't know the mug thing was a secret or that it would lead to this massive blow up, but a couple of people said I should have known better and kept my mouth shut. Another colleague joked that I lit the match and burned down Karen's kingdom. So, Reddit, am I the a hole for accidentally setting off the office drama of the year? And how do I recover from this without looking like the new girl who stirs the pot? I need to pause for a laugh. Hold on. Okay. First off, I don't think you're the a-hole. All right. And I don't think you set this whole thing in motion. This is more like, okay, what could be, okay, this is like Cersei having all the, what was that stuff? That green fire under King's Landing, all right? But you don't know it. But there has been a rule that says there's no smoking, okay, around King's Landing or something. And you're just like, okay, no smoking. And you mentioned that somebody sneaks off to have cigarettes. You don't know why the no smoking signs have been up, why Queen Cersei put them up there. No matches, no smoking, no fires, whatever. You don't know why. But you do notice one of your coworkers keeps doing it, and it's pretty annoying because they're getting away with breaking the rules, and you mention it. Then that coworker freaks out and is like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You want to say something about me smoking?" And they start lighting matches because they're just having a tantrum because it just got called out, and then King's Landing blows up. Would you be to blame for that? No, I wouldn't say. Wow, I really went out of space with that, didn't I, guys? My point is, yeah, like you may have set sort of a spark, but you weren't the one that turned up the gas so that spark caught. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Karen escalated this. You are not to blame for this. I mean, granted, I would definitely tease you, like the person said I lit the match that burned down Karen's kingdom. It's funny, but honestly, did your comment about this mug didn't turned into what it did because of Karen. Karen is the one who flipped out. Flipped out about the mug, flipped out about the insinuation of what queen of everything means. And then when one of the directors was like, "Yo, just chill. It was a joke." She decided to double down from that. Twice by mentioning the sleeping with coworkers and the business trips. She didn't have to do any of that. Karen blew up her own kingdom. And it feels like it was inevitable that Karen was going to end up this way. Because, I mean, HR had to jump in, calm everything down. The poor wifey found out about what was going on, having it confirmed in front of everyone. Karen did this. Karen did this. You didn't. Um, any guilt you have isn't something that should keep you awake at night. All right? Let's just put it that way. Okay. What do the comments have to say? Not the a-hole. This is amazing. I agree. It is. This is the best. I sympathize with Emily, but Karen's demotion benefits many others. She'll have to adjust to being the newcomer in her new department, where everyone will be aware of her demotion. Make sure she doesn't forget her mug as the door hits her on the way out. Yeah. Not the a-hole for not recording this and uploading it for us. Oh, that's what they're saying. You are the a-hole, but it's because you didn't record and upload this for us. And you'll be a bigger a-hole if you don't switch your ringtune to the theme song from The Exorcist. Other than that, you gave everyone in your department the best gift possible. The queen has been exiled, blamed for the blow up lies with Mr. Wandering Penis. Yeah, that's right. I mean, Karen wouldn't have had that ammo if the director wasn't already doing what he was doing. I mean, seriously. So, I mean, you are not to blame. This was just fabulous. You provided the best entertainment this party could have asked for. Oh, here is an excellent one point. Wasn't she going to open it and see her gift anyway? This is the comment I came looking for. Exactly. So you may have let it slip earlier that that was her gift, but she was going to see this present. And given how she reacted to just hearing that was what her present was going to be, how do you think she was going to respond by seeing the present, by opening it up in front of everyone? If you really want to talk about who lit the spark, isn't it the person who bought her the mug, not you? This is Karen's reaction to the mug. Okay, like this was inevitable. OP, you really had nothing to do with this. You just let the cat out of the bag earlier. That's it. That's it. This was going to happen. All when that person decided to buy the mug, Karen was going to have this reaction. And even that person who bought the mug isn't really the a-hole. But if anyone should get, the blame for lighting the match, it's that person, not you. You're asking if you're the a-hole for something that would have happened in 20 whole minutes, even if you said nothing. As soon as she opened the gift, all of those same dominoes would have fallen. Karen would have interrogated everyone. Director would have told her to lighten up. Emily would have learned about the affair. Everything. You didn't cause any of it. Karen did. Yep. And Mr. I can't keep my in my pants, he did it too. Or she did. So maybe Mrs. Velvet, Mrs. Velvet hoo ha. Yeah, I mean, it's the two people who are messing around as well. I mean, you get the least amount of blame if there's blame to go around here, okay? It's Mr. Philanderer, it's his partner he's philandering with, and Karen. These were the a-holes. And maybe the person who bought the cup. Maybe. Uh, Not the a-hole. The match would have been lit when she opened the gift. You just expedited the process. And again, not the a-hole. Karen would have reacted the same when she opened the gift. So I don't see how you affected the outcome. But kind of the a-hole for talking crap within earshot. Who does that? Okay, that's a good point. Like you're like a tiny minor a-hole because, you were talking crap about somebody and they literally were close enough to hear you. So how discreet were you being, sweetheart? Not the a-hole. Please let this be a real post. Yes, I really hope this happened somewhere. I really do. Not the a-hole. Just mention to friendly coworker that you were tired and done with Karen's snarky interference, so you did take a little dig at her. You're horrified at how Karen lost it in response. All people need to know to restore balance is that you're genuinely sorry about your minute part in the incident, and you hope Emily's okay because even fake dramatics by a bitter woman hurt. Um, don't add anything else. If asked about her dirt, say you prefer to ignore Karen's outburst. Lower your voice here. No wonder she got reassigned. Wasn't it a little early to be that wasted? Oh, okay. She's telling her how to handle it in the office and get herself better, get herself back into good graces with people. In office politics, when some people are trying to destroy someone, it's best not to discuss what's outside your job description, even if you read it on a conference room whiteboard or hear it shouted by a Karen at a Christmas party. It sounds like there's enough gossip that your conversation will get around. Anyone sensible knows A, this isn't the first time Karen's annoyed someone, but it was her most evilly dramatic hissy fit, and B, you don't respond to annoyances by getting hysterical and detonating destructive dirt at a Christmas party. So, this is just some advice for her. I wonder if it was of any use. Okay, well, I guess that's where we're going to leave this. I hope that was enough fun Christmas drama for you. I really love that last one. That was great. We left off on a good bang. And I hope that your holidays have been going well. I hope that you're with people that you love and who love you, that make you feel cherished. And even if it's not big or crazy or glitzy, I hope you're finding comfort this time of year. That's like, let's just remember what we should be celebrating, whether you're religious or not. I'm not particularly, so I like to focus on the love and having that love for another year, or even just finding peace within yourself can be something to cherish. Look at where you are now from where you were last year. Think about, what have I learned? How have I bettered myself? Don't focus on your failures, and just remember that every year is that chance to just keep going. I'm going to go back to school. I'm very excited and I'm terrified, but every year is a chance to make some change and to take a chance and to do something else. And that's why we're here to live. So I really do hope that you have had a wonderful holiday and that you're safe when you bring in the new year, and that you find that spark that reminds you why you get up every day, and that it's worth it, and that you're valuable, and that for every moment that you don't feel like you make a difference, there are people out there whose lives would be worse off if they didn't see your face, if they didn't get your text, and you just don't know it. Okay. Never forget that. Anyway, thank you for spending this time with me. Happy Christmas, Kwanzaa. What's the Jewish one? Whatever your holiday is, I hope it was happy. And I can't wait to see you in the new year. Drink water, make smart choices. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. If you'd like to visit with me in the future, hit subscribe. Bye.